friends, welcome back, and we are discussing Indian Contract Act 1872. In this particular video, we will be talking about competent parties. Okay, we have been discussing these four pillars of Indian Contract Act. This is the first one, key concepts. Second one is enforceable by law. Third one is discharge of contract, and the fourth one is remedies. Right? Okay, so earlier we discussed this particular these points: contract, agreement, offer, acceptance, and consideration. In this video, we will discuss competent parties. Okay, competent to contract, competent parties. Okay, let us look into this. This is a part of section 11. Okay, section 11 of the Indian Contract Act deals with competent to contract. Okay, there is a sentence here, right? Contract must be entered among people who are competent. Contract must be entered among people who are competent. Okay, question comes, who is competent then? Correct? Who is competent? Before discussing who is competent, why this competent to contract is important, let us see. I'm again bringing back section 10 here. You may recollect this. This is most important section in this particular act. Why all agreements are not contract? This is a section which you need to quote. All agreements are contract if they are made of a pre-consent of parties competent to contract for lawful consideration and with a lawful object. Correct? All these are very much necessity to convert agreement into a contract. Okay. So what is free consent? We will discuss later. What is a competent parties? Okay, yes. So we will discuss now competent party, and lawful consideration we already discussed. Lawful object also we will discuss later. Okay. So if any one of these is not fulfilled, then contract is said to be void. If a person is not competent, if a person is not competent to enter into a contract, then contract will get void. Then who are the persons who are not competent to enter into a contract? Okay, that is given in section 11. What is thus the section 11 says? Every person is a competent to contract who is of the age of majority. So person should be at the age of majority. He is competent. And the person who is of a sound mind. The person of sound mind. He is also competent and is not qualified from contracting by any law. Unqualified person, not qualified by law. So what is this majority? You know that he should not be a child, he should have certain age, 18 or 21. We talk about this next. And then sound mind, and then not qualified by law as a wrong person. Where, like, if some person make a lot of loans and they flew out of India. I don't want to talk any person's name here. If they flew out of India, if you enter a contract, can you enter a contract with those persons? No. So whoever is declared as a IP or a cheater from a law side, if you enter a contract with them, then it is going to be a void. So three important persons are eliminated from entering into a contract. Persons who are not major, that's a minor, because of infancy, disqualification by infancy. Second is person disqualification by insanity. Insanity means person of unsound mind. And the third one, special disqualification prescribed by law. Okay, these are the three kinds of people who are not eligible: minor, unsound, person of unsound mind, and the persons who disqualified by a law. These are the three kinds of person who are not eligible. The persons who are eligible, majority, person who has attained the age of majority, person who is of a sound mind, and person who is not disqualified by law. Okay, person who is not disqualified by law. Hope you guys are clear who is a competent person to a contract. Okay, every person is competent to a contract who is of the age of majority and then who's of a sound mind and then who is not disqualified by law. Okay, those three categories of person, let us look into one by one in detail. Basically minor and then unsound mind we will discuss in detail. Minor. Who is minor? For voting we know that 18. For a marriage, boy should be of 21. Okay, there is a different laws for a different thing, but according to Indian Contract Act, a minor is a person who has not completed the age of 18 years. Basically, a minor is a person who has not completed the age of 18 years. But in the case if the guardian is appointed, then the majority extends to 21. What does it mean? So, if man generally 18 year is a less than 18 year is minor. Okay, if there is no parent for this one particular boy and he is under the custody of a guardian. Okay, boy under custody of guardian. Okay, so in this case, if a boy is under the custody of a guardian, then the majority age will be considered as 21 years. Up to 21 years, less than 21 years, the person will be considered as minor. In case of guardian appointed, less than 21 years is a minor. In case of others, it is a 18 years, less than 18 years is a minor. Then, okay, what happens if anybody enter into a contract with minor? What happens then? Any contract which we enter with a minor is called as void. Okay, any contract which is entered with minor is classified as void. But it is void and there are certain characteristics with respect to a minor contract. The first one is ab initio. It means it is from the beginning itself, it is void. From the beginning, whenever the contract is entered, it is void. But minor can be a promise. Somebody, if at all they want to transfer some amount to a minor because he is a kin of known person or whatever, in those cases, minor can be a beneficiary but not a promiser. Okay, minor in any contract, minor cannot be a promiser. And if he is a promiser and breaks the promise, no one can sue him. No ratification. I am briefing every line one by one, but again we will discuss in detail. No ratification. No ratification means once the minor attains the age of 18 years or at 21 years, he cannot renew his old debts. Whatever he has done in a minor when he was minor, that cannot be renewed after attaining the majority. No restitution. No restitution. No restitution means if minor received some benefit and then he need not to return it back. Okay, whatever he has got it from the contract because of the contract with him, he can keep it with him. There is no need to return the received materials. By no estoppel. If there is any some misrepresentation, people think that he was major and they do the contract with them. So no, even if there is a misrepresentation, it is the person who enter into a contract with minor, that is his fault, and minor there is no contract, like there is no problem for minor. No specific performance. In contract, whenever there is a challenge, then the aggrieved party can ask for some specific performance by from the other party. But with case of minor, no one can ask for specific performance. And now no vicarious liability. Vicarious liability is something where the act of one person will make other person as a liable. For example, sometimes if whatever employee does a mistake, then the employer will be held responsible. For example, in a case of a agency, whatever agent does a mistake, the manufacturer or the person who has given a contract, he will be held responsible. So same way, in case of us kids, if they are making some mistake, parents are held responsible. But in case of a contract, because of the minor's mistake, the parents or a guardians will not be held responsible. Okay, these are the 7 contractual capacity, the impact of a contract with a minor. Let us see all these points one by one. Okay, and then we will see the exception. Is it really that no one can enter into a contract? No, there is some exception. There are few exceptions, because if a minor needs some necessities of a life, okay, he is alone or he is staying with his old mother and he needs some financial assistance. In case of the necessities, if anybody helps him, then that can be recovered. So this is an overview of a minor, and we go into detail one by one. Okay, you know now who is minor. Minor is a person who is of less than 18 years. But in case if a guardian is appointed, minor is a person who is of less than 21 years. Contract with minor is always void from the beginning, and it cannot be ratified, it cannot be restituted, it cannot be estoppel, no estoppel exclusions, no specific performance, no vicarious liability. And in case of necessities provided to minor, then amount can be recovered. This is in brief about minor. Let us see now. Void ab initio means from the beginning it is contract is invalid, contract is void from the beginning itself. There is no question of relooking into a contract. If the other party is minor, contract is void from the beginning. Here is a case, Moiri Bibi versus Dharmadas Gupta. Okay. In this case, minor mortgaged his house for rupees 20,000 and takes an advance of 8,000 rupees. Then afterwards, minor claims that he is a minor. So then court held that this contract is void and that the mortgager cannot recover this amount, and even he cannot exercise his right on the property. Okay, so any contract with a minor is void. But in some cases, in any contract, if minor has carried out his duty, okay, A and B, okay, A is a minor, okay, so A supplied 20,000 rupees goods to B, and now B says that, okay, this is a contract with minor, I received 20,000 rupees goods, so I will not make a payment of 20,000 I will not make. Why should I make? Contract with minor is void. In this case, minor can suit against B. Okay, if minor has performed his duties, he can suit other party to perform their duties. Clear? If minor has performed his obligation, he can bring a suit against other party for the enforcement of the other party's obligation. He has performed his duty. Minor has performed his duty. Now minor can go to a court. If the other party, same case, A and B, A is minor and B is major. Okay. If B performed his duty and A is not performing, a minor is not performing, then B cannot go to a court. Okay, clear? So minor, if he has done his work, then he can go to a court for other party to perform his obligation. Okay, this is the case Abdul Ghaffar versus Parallel. In this, minor enter into a contract of sale of goods and minor deliver the goods. So minor can collect money from the purchaser, no doubt in it. In case if minor fail to deliver the product, then other party has no right to sue minor. This is what we discussed. So hope you guys are clear with contract with a minor is void and void at the time of beginning of the contract itself. Minor can be promisee or a beneficiary. Okay, why this particular clause is there? Okay, in case, right, if the parents wants to write some will, okay, our parents wants to transfer some property, so minor can be a beneficiary, okay, or a donor is giving some donation to Dhoni is minor. So minor, that's why minor can be a beneficiary in any contract. Any benefits in favor of minor is valid. If anything is in favor of minor is valid. Taking minor's property is invalid. Giving property to minor is valid. Clear? So anything in the form of anything in favor of minor is valid. Like example, mortgage deed, sale deed, promissory note. If one person writes a promissory note that I will give 50,000 rupees to him for his higher education, that is valid. So he can enjoy all the benefits and privileges under the contract. Whatever benefit he can take it, so but he cannot held liable under the contract. For any reasons, whatever the mistakes he does, for that he cannot be held liable. Here is a case which is a simple case, Raghavacharya versus Srinivas. So in this case it was held that person can draw a promissory note in favor of minor, and donor can gift and ownership of the property to minor. Any donor can give gifts to a minor. This is about the second point with respect to a minor. Minor can be a promisee or a beneficiary, but he cannot be a promisor. No ratification. What is ratification? Ratification means subsequent acceptance or approval. So a person enter into a contract at 17 years of age, okay, in 2019, July 2019, he was 17 years and he entered into a contract. Okay, say for example, he entered into a contract of 50,000 rupees loan from Mr. X. So he entered into a contract and Mr. X from Mr. X for 10% per annum interest. Okay. He entered into a contract in July 2019. In July 2019, and for he was 17 years at that time. Okay. So, but this is a void contract, right? And when he attains the 18 years, right? He assume he attains 18 years at July 2020. So minor is now at 18 years. He makes a new agreement. It is a ratified. It is a subsequent acceptance. He makes a new agreement. What is that new agreement? New agreement. He says to Mr. X, hi, I pay rupees 50,000 plus the interest of 10%, 5,000, total 55,000. Okay, total 55,000. So this signing, now he is a major, right? He attained already 18 years, he is greater than 18 years now. So he signs his major. Is this valid? But because he is signing this contract now, this was old contract. This is the first contract and this is the second contract. Is this second contract is valid? This is not valid. Let's go back to the basics of a contract. For any contract, there must be a consideration, A and B. A is giving a car, B is giving a cash. For B, consideration is car. For A, consideration is cash. Right? In the second contract, okay, the major person who converted from minor now, and then the lender. Okay, the major person is signing some document for 55,000 rupees, right? Good, the lender is getting some consideration here, but what is this guy is getting? This leg is missing, right? He is not getting anything here. The major guy, the person who turned to a major, he is not getting anything. This is, the lender is getting something, but the major person is not getting anything. So in this grounds, this contract was cancelled. This is considered as void. So here is a case for this, Suraj Narayan versus Shuku Air, where miner borrowed some money when he was like minor. After attaining the majority, he executed the second bond, whatever we discussed here. But the court held that the second bond is invalid because there is no consideration for this the major. Okay, the court held that the second bond is invalid as there is no consideration in it. Clear? So there is no ratification of a contract whatever minor entered, and after attaining a majority he cannot ratify it. Now, no restitution. What is this restitution? Restitution means a minor need not to return or restitute the benefits received under the void contract. Under any contract, if minor receives some benefits, he need not to return those goods. But if minor obtains goods from fraud, then he can be asked to return. There is a possibility he can be asked, but normally need not to return. Again, estoppel. What is estoppel? It is something misrepresentation. People think that okay, he is major, and because of his act and other thing, they felt that he is major and given him an amount. Then, or they enter into a contract with him. So then it is, even then it is void. Even by misrepresentation, if people think that this guy is a major, even then it is void. No specific performance. As I told earlier, minor cannot be sued for specific performance. In case of a contract failure or a breach of contract, the aggrieved party, so A and B unable to fulfill his act or obligations, then A can go to a court. And ask for some specific performance, at least not full, some specific performances as per the law. We discuss this function later. Right now remember that specific performance. Then the court will order based on the facts and other thing B to perform those actions. But in case of minor, the person cannot sue for specific performances. And now the no vicarious liability. Parents or a guardians are not liable for liability of a minor. If minor goes and enter into a contract, so the person B, A is minor and B, he cannot go and sue his A's father. Okay, this is invalid. Okay, this is not accepted. Parents are not liable for minor's act. Okay, parents or a guardians are not liable for minor's act. So this is all about the contractual capacity of a minor. So we should be very careful before entering into a contract with minor, because the first one, the contract with minor is void ab initio from the beginning. Second, minor contracts, minor can be only promisee, he cannot be promisor or a, okay, he can be only promisee or beneficiary. And then there is no ratification, subsequent ratifications are not allowed. Okay, and no restitution, no return of goods. Okay, and then estoppel is also not support. No specific performance, no one can sue for specific performance. And then no vicarious liability. The liability of minor cannot be transferred to parents or a guardian. So this is all, we should be very careful before entering any contract with the minor. Okay, so contracts with minor are void, but always whenever there is a law and there will be some exceptions. Okay, minor is liable for necessities supplied to him or to his dependents. Okay, see, there is a person who is minor and he lives with his grandmother. Okay, if they don't have any other income, this guy is a minor also. If at all, if he needs some expenses, okay, to meet medical expenses of a grandmother, or his education expenses, or if there is a sister, whether elder or a sister's marriage, okay, all these necessities, a minor can make some contracts, and whoever supplied for that, whoever helped for that, can claim back their amount. The necessities include food, cloth, residence, education, funeral expenses, marriage expenses, etc. All these things can be recovered from the minor. This was held in the case of Kedarnath versus Ajodhya. Cash given for sister's marriage expenses can be recovered because this is also a necessity. Right? This is a basic exception because minor should not be. So people may be hesitant to supply necessities also to a minor. If so, that's why this particular exception is given. Guys, hopes you are clear with who is minor and what is the contractual capacity of a minor and exceptions to it. With this, we will move to our next competent party. So we discussed three parties who are competent. One is person who is major, person who is of sound mind, and then third is person who is not disqualified by law. Not disqualified by law. The third one is most simple. The person, if any person is disqualified by law, then is not eligible. So we are not discussing that in detail. So we discussed major, who is major, who is minor, what are the challenges being a minor, contract being a like having a contract with minor. Now we will discuss this sound mind. What is sound mind? And who all are called as persons of unsound mind. Okay, a person is said to be a sound mind for the purpose of making a contract if at the time when he makes it he is capable of understanding what is it and forming a rational judgment as to its effect upon his interest. So if a person is in a capacity to understand what is that he is signing, and then what is his impact, what is its impact on him. Okay, so if he is able to make this judgment, then it is called as a person is of sound mind. Following persons are classified as persons of unsound mind: lunatic, idiot, drunken or intoxicated. Who is lunatic? Lunatic is a person who is mentally deranged due to some mental strain. Because of a mental strain, person may lose his thinking capacity for a time being. Okay, so those persons will called as a lunatic. So they will be all right, but only in a specific period because of some mental stress, they lose their judgmental skills. And that case, this person will be called as a lunatic. So in lunatic interval, a lunatic person can enter into a contract. For example, from morning 9 to 12, he was not behaving properly. So he was not behaving, he was lunatic. And then evening 5 to 9 also the same thing, he was lunatic. In between this lunatic interval, person can enter into contracts. Okay, who is mentally deranged due to some mental strain, mental stress, or because of some personal experience. But these persons can enter into a contract when they are in a lunatic interval situation, they can enter into a contract. Lunatics can enter into a contract during lunatic interval. This is not a scientific way like here. Sometimes whenever they are valid, like they have a proper mind, then they can enter into a contract. Idiots. Idiots are the person who have completely lost, a person who has completely lost his mental power. A person who has completely lost his mental power is called as an idiot. And he will not be able to understand the ordinary matters of the business also. He will not be able to understand ordinary business of the ordinary matters. So in this case, any contract with idiots are void. Then drunken or intoxicated. Whenever person takes alcohol, right, in those cases he will be at temporarily incapacity to contract. But drunken persons are temporary, like till that hangover goes out, the person will be in incapacity to contract. Any contracts entered at the time of a drunken situation would be same as a lunatic. Okay, it will be same as lunatic, so it is void. Any contract entered during a drunken status is void. If it is signed after like 7 hours of drinking and everything, then it is fine. Alcohol after 7 hours of alcohol consumption, then it is fine. 5-6 hours. This was held in the case of Inder Singh versus Parameshwar Singh. Property was sold at a reduced price during drunken status. Property was so, see, the drunken person will not be having control on his mind and decision. So the other person says, give your property for 10,000 rupees. A 10 lakh rupees property, he agrees to sell it at 10,000. So it is not fair. So it is not valid. So that's why drunken or intoxicated, during that period, the drunken person will be considered as temporarily lunatic, or he is incapacity to contract. Guys, so we discussed minor and then unsound mind in detail. The not disqualified by law, you know that any person who was declared as IP, insolvent person, or whoever flew out of a country or any other category, whichever law says that that person is not eligible for entering into any contract, then those contracts are also void. So now you understood who all are competent parties to a contract: person of major, sound mind, and not disqualified by law. Thank you guys, that's it in this video, and please don't forget to subscribe this channel, and if you have any queries, please put it in a comment box, and please share this video with your friends. And in the next video we will discuss free consent. Thank you.